It's just the introduction.
Now, where are we starting now?
This is Katie. She's one of the sweetest humans you will ever meet, especially in this business. And every single time that I hear her speak, it just like brings so much life into me. And so I'm really excited that you all get to meet her and learn from her. But I will kind of just start it off by asking for you to share your story. And I know that like this is something that all of us just freaking love. That of us that have heard your story, we have a lot of new people that haven't. But I'll just start off with that. If you'll share your story of how you got started, what the Lord has used this business for in your life, and where you're at now.
So obviously my name's Kay. Like she said, I'm a triple diamond. I have been in for 4 years now in February. So just had my little birthday with It Works, which it sounds so crazy if you're new. Like I promise it will go so fast. I remember when I was new and people were like, oh, I've been in 5 years, 7 years. I was like, oh my God, they've been in for a century. And now here I am 4 years in and it does not feel that way. But like I said, I joined 4 years ago. Me and my husband had just gotten married and we wanted to have a family. And so we got pregnant really soon, but unfortunately ended in an early miscarriage. And it was really rough on me. I always thought I was fertile Myrtle. A little bit about my backstory. I got pregnant with my son at 15 years old. So I had a crazy life. So since I got pregnant at 15, I thought I was fertile Myrtle. I mean, my husband like eventually would have tons of children when I got married. Like that was my dream. And, when we had our miscarriage, I was just kind of lost and I was just like, I didn't ever think that would happen to me. And so we decided just to get things checked out and make sure, we both were like A-okay to start, our family planning again. And when we went to the doctor, they gave us some really bad news. I had issues, but my husband also had issues. And I won't go into detail, but we both had fertility issues. And they gave us less than 10% chance to like get pregnant on our own and a less than 5% chance to carry full term. And so I was just really confused by it all. It's like, but no, I had a son at 15, like I'm fertile Myrtle, but that just wasn't what wasn't our case. And so they said they could take us as a patient and we could do all this stuff, but they gave us like all these forms that had the pricing. And I remember looking at that pricing and I got so sick to my stomach because it was like $2,000 here, $1,000 here, $500 here, $700 here, ultrasounds, $500, like all these stuff added up. And guys, it was thousands of dollars. And even though I had went to college and I had a degree, my husband had a full-time job, like we were living paycheck to paycheck. And sometimes we weren't even making it. Sometimes my account went negative. Sometimes I had to call my mom and borrow a couple $100 until I got paid. And I feel like 90% of America is like that. And we don't talk about it enough. But whenever I knew I wanted to have babies and I knew my dream was just this close, but I had all this money stopping me. And so I just didn't know what to do to make this happen. And I was a therapist. That's what I went to college for. And so I started looking at weekend jobs, working at hospitals, nursing homes. And it just was like giving me so much anxiety thinking about working 7 days a week. Like I said, I had my son. And at the time he was playing ball. And like every weekend he had ball games. And I was just thinking in my head, I'm going to miss so much time with him. Like my weekends are my family time at that time. Like that's all the family time I had. And so like, thinking about working 7 days a week, I was like, I'm never going to see my family, trying to make this other dream come true. And I was just getting nauseous. I was stressed. I couldn't sleep. And I saw this girl post on Facebook about how she was making money from her phone and there was $1,000 bonus. And y'all, I never even heard of It Works. I didn't even know what multi-level marketing was. I didn't know anything about network marketing, okay? But I just saw it and I was like, I'm going to do that because I can work from my phone. I won't have to miss this ball games. Like this works perfect. And so I went and talked to my husband and he was like, absolutely not. That is a pyramid scheme and you're going to lose money. And I was just like, oh man, like my husband is right about a lot of things. And so I was like, okay, but you guys, like 3 nights passed and all I could think about was that girl's profile. Like I would go creep on her 100 times a day and I would see the things that she was posting. I was seeing the life that she was living and all the freedom she had. And so finally my husband, I remember he walked in that day and I just looked at him. I said, you know that thing that I talked to you about? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And I was like, so you can either keep your mouth shut or you can support me. And he was like, okay. And so I joined, and within my first month, you guys, I ended up going Ruby. I made $1,000 bonus. Like I said, I didn't know anything about network marketing, guys. I was what was called ignorance on fire. Like, I just wanted to talk to everyone about this because I knew here was my dream, and I knew like there's a road to get to it, and I just had to keep chugging. So I was talking to people about the products. I was talking to people about the business. I was doing wrap parties, which is insane, you guys, because when I joined this business, I really didn't talk about who I was before this business, but when I joined, I was shy. I was the most unconfident person you'd ever met. A little bit about my back life. I grew up in a very, very, very abusive home. I grew up really broke. We lived in a trailer park. We didn't have things. If I had something, my grandparents paid for it. My parents never did. My dad was so physically and mentally abusive to my mom. Like, when I say I have PTSD and just a lot of issues I had to work through, like, I mean it. And this business has changed me in so many ways. And for me to do a wrap party and to feel like that confident to do it, like, yeah, I was up there shaking, but you guys, this business has just grown me so much, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. But like I said, my first month I ended up going Ruby. I earned $1,000 bonus. My second month, the bonuses were supposed to be over, but Mark, being freaking amazing, extended the bonuses. So if y'all are looking at these bonuses thinking you're too far away, you need to keep chugging because you never know what Mark's going to do. But my second month, I went diamond. I earned a $20,000 bonus. My husband promoted to emerald. So we were cashing. I was doing wrap parties, guys. I was making thousands of dollars in fast starts. So within my second month, I was just blown away. Like, I kept getting emails about fast starts. I kept getting wrap cash. Like, it was just insane. And so because of that, we were able to pay for fertility in cash. And unfortunately, it didn't work. And I was kind of confused, and the medicine had made me sick, and I just didn't know what to do. And I just told her, I was like, I feel like we need to wait a little bit to try again. Like, we spent all this money and it didn't work. And I don't know, like, we just need to take a break. And so we started like just full on work in this business. I was booking like different events. I was doing all this stuff. I was doing wrap parties at hair salons, like everything. And then I think it was almost 2 months later, I started feeling weird. My boobs are sore. Sorry, I know there's a gentleman on here, but I just felt so weird. And I ended up taking a pregnancy test, and I was like, there's no way. I ended up pregnant. And we went to the doctor's office. We actually went to my fertility treatment place just because they had been treating me. And she was looking so funny, and my husband and my mom were there. And she was like, so when's the last time you did fertility? And I was like, oh, 2-3 months ago, whatever it was. She was like, that's really weird. And she did the ultrasound, and I looked up and I said, how many babies is that? And she said, there's definitely 2. And she was still trying to count. And like, y'all, I started crying. I was laughing. I was smiling from ear to ear. My hands were shaking. My husband couldn't talk. My mom was crying. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, this was all meant to be. Like, God is like arranging this huge plan. And because we had this second business, like, I wasn't worried about paying for 2 babies. And I can guarantee you 98% of people who get pregnant with twins, that's their first thought is, oh my God, like, how am I going to pay for diapers? How am I going to pay for this? How am I going to pay for that? And I didn't even have that thought because we had this business that was rocking on top of my full-time income. And so we were super excited. And then as the months went along, we started having some issues. I was put on bed rest. And like I said, guys, I was a therapist. And so I didn't get paid salary. I got paid per billable hour. So basically I got paid per child that I treated. And me being on bed rest, guess what? That means no paycheck. And so if I hadn't had this business, like, guys, my card would have been taken away, our phone would have been cut off, our water, like, I don't know how we would have made it, but God brought this business into my life, you know, to take care of me. And that's not even why I thought I joined. But then at 6 months, everything was okay. And then at 6 months, we went in for an anatomy scan, and I was kind of in a lot of pain, but everyone had told me, you know, it's twins, that's normal. But my doctor did not seem to think that was normal. And so she checked some things out. And guys, I was in full blown labor at 6 months. And so I always get a little emotional, but know that I'm okay. I just get emotional. But I was immediately sent to the hospital, and they kept trying to stop my labor. Guys, they admitted me, and I was there for almost 3 weeks total. Up and down, up and down. They thought I was in labor. I wasn't in labor. I'd go back into labor. They'd stop it. They'd go take me back down. Like, it was the most traumatic experience of my life. But then after 3 weeks of being there, I did go into labor and they couldn't stop it. And so I delivered both of my boys. They were beautiful, Thatcher and Sebastian, and I held them until they passed. I held them in my arms. NICU tried everything, but unfortunately they were just too small. And it was really, really hard on me, obviously, because I had thought God, ordained this beautiful plan for me. And it was these babies that I prayed for over and over. And like, we're 6 months pregnant and I delivered babies. And to have that taken away, like, it just felt like a knife was stuck in my heart. And I had to go home and I had to plan a funeral and I had to bury these babies. And it was just a very, very dark time in my life. But why I like my story, it's because this business saved me in the darkest time of my life. A lot of people talk about all the amazing things that this business had done, but honestly, this business blessed me in my darkest time. So when I couldn't get out of bed, I basically told work, like, I was not coming back. I couldn't. I was like a mental psychotic mess. But I don't know, like, guys, this business paid my bills every single month when I was in bed grieving. And like, when I say it was dark times, like, my husband would leave work for hours at a time because he said that, like, he was scared he would come home and I would have done something to myself. Like, that's how dark of a time it was for me. And anyways, we had to pray a lot. We had to heal a lot. And I finally got to where I felt like I could breathe a little bit. And I remember my son coming in one day and I snapped on him. And if you know me, like, I don't do that. I am like, he gets whatever he wants. He knows to walk all over me. Like, he's such a mama's boy, but he gets whatever he wants. And I remember when I snapped on him, I was so mad at myself. And I just thought, I'm done with this. Like, I am not going to lay in my bed and be a victim. I have so many things to be thankful for. I have a husband. I have a son. I have a rocking business. I have a team. Like, I have so many things to be thankful for. Like, I'm done. And I got out of bed that day. And I mean, I'm not saying I don't have hard days, but guys, my life has been completely opposite from that moment since. And we decided to focus on our business. A couple months later, I ended up going double. My husband went diamond. We had time to heal, like I said, and we thought about doing fertility again. So we went, and they told us that basically the route that we had done initially, which was called IUI, we were not allowed to do that anymore, because with that, you're likely to have multiples, and they never want me to have multiples again because my body cannot carry it. And so our only option was IVF. And if you know anything about IVF, guys, like, basic bottom line procedure, $10,000 cash. Like, you have to go pay for it before it ever happens. And because of this business, we were able to do that. And it was just such a blessing. We got 5 embryos. We ended up doing a transfer in a July 2 years ago. Ended up pregnant, was super excited, told the whole world, made a cute announcement, went for our 6-week appointment and found out it was ectopic. Had to have my tube removed, had to be on bed rest, all these things. But guys, like, that time period was so different from when I lost my boys. Like, I just knew that God had a plan, and I had so much confidence in his love for me and his story that he was writing for me. And I knew it was going to be okay. And so I was like, I'm fine. Like, I'm blessed. I am blessed that I get to lay in my bed and heal, and I don't have to worry about going to work. I am blessed that I get an income while I'm healing, when 90% of people probably can never say that. And so we chugged along, and Brandon just kept bringing this idea that he wanted to move to the beach. And I was just like, are you crazy? I've lived in Arkansas my whole life. I am 2 minutes from my entire family, but his dream was always living on the beach. And finally he talked me into it, and we ended up moving 7 hours away from everybody I've ever met. I don't have friends here. Well, I do now, but I didn't have friends here. I have no family here. And so we moved here, and it just changed our lives. And then I'm wrapping it up. We got 2 more little spots, and my story's long. It's been in 4 years, guys. So we've been living here for almost 2 years now, but last December, yeah, it's almost a year. Okay, yeah. Last December, we went home for Christmas just to do Christmas, open gifts, spend time with family. And while we were there, we get a phone call, and they said, there's a little girl. She is 3 days old. She's going to be put into DHS unless you take her. Do you want her? And guys, because of this, oh, I forgot to tell you guys, we were going to do IVF again, do another procedure. I had made an appointment, and I had so much anxiety about it. I was like, I can't do it. Like, I'm not ready. And literally 2 months later, we were in Arkansas for Christmas, and I got the phone call. And guys, because of this business, I was able to say yes within 24 hours of that. Like, I was able to say yes. I went to Walmart. I bought a crib. I bought diapers. I bought clothes. I bought formula. without ever being like, oh my God, like, let me check my bank account, which was totally my life before this business. Like, I'll be getting groceries and checking my account 5 times to make sure and watching them beep every item. But because this business, I was able to say, yes, I want to take a baby home without even knowing it was going to happen and go buy everything for her. So we brought her home to Alabama. And she was up every 2 hours, you guys, like it was insane. But I always say she's the reason I went triple diamond, because every 2 hours she was awake, I was awake, I was working, I was messaging, I was posting, I was storing. So thank you, baby Lulu, for helping me go triple diamond. And since then, we bought a house, brand new home, brand new build. We're the first people to ever live in it. 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, my dream home, white kitchen, like Joanna Gaines' kitchen, you guys. And I say all this not to brag, but because if you knew where I came from, if you knew that old trailer I lived in the trailer park, which had like carpet missing and like was nasty AF, to owning my own brand new home, like it is just insane. This business has blessed me so much more than I can share with you guys in 10 minutes, but that's a little bit of what it's done for me. So like, if you are here and you don't know why you're here, guys, I didn't know any of that was going to happen to me. I joined so I could pay for fertility, but God put that reason on my heart, or whatever, that feeling on my heart, that desire on my heart, because he knew all the things that were going to happen that I had no clue of. Like it was just a curtain in front of me and I didn't know what was behind it, but he knew. And so I think that's why he put that desire for 3 nights, and I couldn't stop looking at her profile. So you guys are all here for a reason. You got on the Zoom for a reason, and you might not even know what it is. So you just need to do the Lord a favor and show up so he can bless you. He cannot bless you if you're not showing up. So that's my story, Zoe.
Thank you. I like something that always gets me is how vulnerable you are and just like transparent with everything, especially your story. And it just always like, especially the time when you got Lulu, like I remember crying, like telling people in my life, like, you don't even know what the Lord has done in this woman's life, and like just how much favor and just blessing. Like every single time I'm like, Lulu, I look at your pictures, I'm like, you were the biggest blessing, and we had no idea. You had no idea that that was his plan. But I love that, and like thank you again just for like being transparent, and just sharing like even the hardest moments of your life. Like just you're so precious now. But so y'all did go triple diamond, and Brandon went double.
He was actually double before I went triple. So we were doubles for a while, and then I went triple.
All right. So whenever you were, because you work both accounts, and so like it's a lot. So just whenever you've been in that like mode of like I'm promoting, I'm pushing for so long, like how have you like come through and like overcome just that mindset block of like really believing it's possible and like seeing going for it, like just during that time? Like I'm just gonna stop.
I think it's such a huge process because I skipped this part of my story, but whenever I had first went diamond, you guys, like, I don't know what was going on. Like when I say I was signing probably 20 to 30 DTs a month, like I didn't even know these folks, like they were coming out of the woodworks. And so I was actually built for triple, like by my 4th month in this business. But what I will say is, although I was built for it, my mind and my soul was not ready for triple, because I told you my background. Like I had so many things that like I just didn't know I needed to work on. And I self-sabotage. Like every time mine were like, you're going triple. Like, I can't believe you. You're the next Courtney Labby. Like she was throwing all this stuff out. And I think like a lot of people who might have like good backgrounds, I don't know, would be like, yeah. But for me, I wasn't that way. It made me nauseous. And that shows like where my mindset was at, because I didn't think I was worthy. And I would say, number one, if you're like looking at these promotions and you're thinking that like you can't do it, guess what? You're right. You're right if you think you can't do it. And so you need to really tap into some really good self-development, whether that's videos, whether that's journaling. Guys, every morning, like this is my life. This is how much self-development I have to do on the daily. I start with Jesus. I have Bible promises. I have Denise Walsh's Dream Life. And then I have like a Jesus book. Like that's how much self-development I have to do. And you might be a little bit different, but I'm telling you, the only reason like you're not getting to that, it's not your enrollments. It is your mindset. And so you just have to figure out what that is. I do journaling as well. Another thing that I really, really like is just staying close to like Zooms, like getting on Zooms. I can tell you I would not be a triple diamond if I had never got on a Zoom. Like so many people's stories inspired me, and I would look at those people and be like, she's no different than me. And she's a triple diamond. She's a presidential. So like, why can she do it and I can't? There's not a reason other than I haven't bossed up. I haven't been, confident enough. I haven't been consistent enough. So those are really important aspects. Yeah, the self-development and the mindset is huge, but you also have to realize you can have a perfect mindset, but if, like I said, you're not putting in the work, God can't bless it. And if you're not being consistent, you will never get it. Like you have to be so consistent. You can't look at these paychecks of 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, and you're not being consistent. And you're like, well, why am I not a triple diamond? Like there's a reason. And for me to get to triple diamond from double, a lot of things had to change. And I just got real with myself. And I was saying, what does a triple diamond do that I'm not doing? Or, like the pay is so different, but guess what? To increase your pay, you have to increase like your mindset and like the work that you're putting into it, if that makes sense. And so I looked at the things that I was doing as a double, like, yeah, I would do random Zooms, or yeah, I would do random FaceTimes, like those things. But like, honestly, I wasn't acting like a triple diamond. And so I tell my team all the time, if you want to be a diamond, you need to act like a diamond before it's ever going to happen. If you want to be a ruby, you have to act like a ruby before it's ever going to happen. If you want to be a triple diamond, you got to act like a triple diamond before it will ever happen. And so like I would find people that I would look up to too. And y'all have always loved Carrie Young. And I see, like, I watch all of her videos. I have from day one, and I see the things that she does. And I'm like, that's working for her. Guess what? Success leaves trails. And so I would do the things that she was doing. And I just looked at everything that I did, guys, and I amped it up. Because if I want to increase my income, I have to increase who I am as a leader, confidence in myself, like knowing that I can have these things. And so I started leading Zooms. I started, acting like a triple diamond leader. I don't know how to express all the things that I did, but I just thought, like, what can I do to increase myself as a leader? And I would do those things. I started doing a crap ton of self-development where before I would just kind of listen to a Zoom every now and then. And now you see, like, I do a lot. I spend a lot more time with my team. I mean, I just had to boss up because, like, if you're waiting to feel like the perfect leader, that's never going to happen. And when I was the double, my leader left. She was a presidential. Well, I say she left, but she stepped back from the business, like hardcore step back. And I think for so long, I relied on her to do Zooms. I relied on her to do incentives. I relied on her to check in with the team because she was such a boss leader. But guys, when she walked away, guess what? Like, that was all on me. And I could have either shied away or could be like, okay, I have to do this. I'm not going to be perfect. It's going to be a learning experience, but that's just something you have to do. You're never going to be the perfect leader. And if you keep waiting for that feeling, it's never going to happen. Your team needs you to step up. Your team is always going to follow you. Okay. So like step up on Zoom, step up on your enrollments. Sorry, my child is like banging on my door or something over there. It's really distracting. So I don't know. I hope that answers it.
No,
It's a lot of things.
so much so. And like, I love that y'all, I don't know if you still do them every single day, but they're like 4:30, which I guess maybe you're Central Time, right?
Yeah, we do it at 5 a.m. now because a lot of my team that weren't getting on said that they would get on if it was at 5. The reason I did it at 4:30 is because I do so much self-development. So I would have time to do self-development, and then I had over an hour and a half to work before the baby even woke up. It's such a good feeling to have all that done before the sun even comes up. But I started at 5 now. Y'all are more than welcome to hop on. It's for whoever wants to hop on.
There is definitely, so I had struggled with insomnia last year, and there are definitely days that I would wake up. I wouldn't even, no, sorry. When y'all were waking up to start your Zoom, I had not gone to bed yet. And it was just like, hey, friends, what's up? But like, I was inspired by it because like, that's something that's always been ingrained in me. And like, I love that y'all took the initiative. Like, if you say you don't have time, you're going to make time for both your mindset, but also for your business. And so it was just really inspiring that y'all like, bossed up, like you said, and did it. So kind of like we're in a time of chaos with this whole virus thing. How have you kind of like, is there any ways that you've shifted the way that you are sharing the opportunity, working your business, and what are some ways that like you've just found are working for you, whether it's host to post or anything like during this time of literal mass chaos in the world?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys, like, I've dealt with anxiety my whole life. So this little virus thing was playing real hard on my heart for a minute. And finally I just got like, I just have these times of clarity. Like I'll be so psycho and then I'll have like this moment of God saying, girl, listen to me. And then I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And so the other day I was like stressing about it, guys. I was taking 4 coffee a day. And finally God was like, girl, can you control this virus? And I was like, no. He was like, what can you control? And I kept thinking of all these things that I could control. What can I control? I can control, the vibe I'm sending out to my team. I can control my consistency. I can control how many people I'm talking to. I can control what I'm relaying on Facebook. And one thing, I don't know if you guys watched it or if y'all are even in the group, but there's like a mindset group and it's like Joel Dunn, Martavius, Chad Miller, and who else? One more. Anyways, it's for men and it works personal development, I think is the page, but they shared this 45-minute video, you guys, and I'll send it to Zoe because it changed my whole perspective so she can share it with you guys. But I made every Wednesday I have a leadership Zoom, and it's people who are diamond and above or people who are kind of pushing for diamond. And I literally, that's all it was us watching that 45-minute Zoom. But it just talked about like, you cannot let the chaos take over your life. You cannot let the stress take over your life. And there's so many things to be grateful for now. And it talks about how you should be leading your business. And guys, like between me and my whole leaders, everything shifted after that Zoom. So I would definitely share it. But it's just like you have to put out that positivity right now. Not only is your team looking at you, but all your potentials are looking at you. How do you want them to remember how you made them feel during this time? Do you want them to make them feel like you were confident, you were calm, you were positive? And so one thing I have really done on my Facebook, if you go creep on me, it is just positivity after positivity after positivity. So like yesterday, my status was like, you can't spell quarantine without you are a cutie, or I don't know, like funny memes, but also like thanking the workers. Like I have serious notes, but I also kind of keep it light a lot too, just because I want the people following me to like go to my page and feel good when they get off of it. Do you know what I mean? Like people won't remember what you said to them, but people will remember how you made them feel. And for me, when I'm talking to potentials and stuff, what I want them to feel for me is that I am real, that I am loving, that I'm accepting, and that I'm positive. Because I didn't have that in my life at all. And when I met my enroller, that's what she gave me. My child again. I'm sorry if I hear that. But my enroller was so positive. She was so close to Christ. And that's kind of what drew me to her. And when I got to know her, she changed my life. I say this business changed my life, but she changed my life too. And every day in my dream journal, I write that. I say, I want to be a light to someone the way Sydney was to me. And so like, I always think that like, I want people to feel how I did when I first met her. Like, okay, I don't have to live this life of shame. I don't have to realize that, all these things will never be, part of my life. Like it could definitely be. And so I just focus on making people feel that way. It might not always be a business post, but it's definitely something positive, something light. I don't know if that makes sense. So definitely for posting and stuff, that's what I do. And then when I reach out to people, guys, I'm just real and raw. So like when they came out with the $50 kits, my message was short and it was simple. And it said, hey girl, I wanted to let you know that our company just dropped the startup fee to help people in this time of need. I know you said you need the extra income, and I'm sure you need it now more than ever. And I would love to help you do this. Now is the perfect time with this reduced price. How does that sound? Literally signed a DT. She was like, girl, I have my job right now, but I don't know if I will lately or later. And I was like, okay. And I have another girl signing tonight. And I have like 3 more that said they definitely want to sign on Friday. And so, I mean, I just try to be real. I try to be raw. So I hope that makes sense.
Yes, and I love that. Like, I have you on like default. Like, when I get on Facebook, I literally have you and like 2 other top leaders other than Shay, because like y'all just always are so positive, and it's good, especially during this time, that like I love that you mentioned that, because I think that this is a time that we have to be set apart, because it's real easy for us to complain and like share in the negativity and the fear. But this is like the most important time to be positive and to be confident, like that the Lord is in control, one, but also like we don't all have to be terrified. And so I kind of love that. Like I hadn't really like thought about like how much we can use our like place on social media during that for that.
And I think it's important for us all to remember, and Joel Dunn talks about this, is like what we have is literally what every single person needs right now. Literally. Number one, we have products that boost immunity. Boom. Number two, we have coffee, which people aren't want to go to the store. Like, send them some freaking coffee or coffee samples. Number three, everybody is so worried about bankruptcy, losing their jobs. Guys, we literally have that on a platter to hand to people. So don't disvalue, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but don't underestimate what we have. And I think we have to be loud. We have to be not excited. I want to say excited, but we have to be sure of it. You know what I mean? Like confident in what we have. And people really can pick up on your vibes. And if you're not confident, guess what? They're not going to feel confident. So like you have to know what you have in your hands. And when you're talking to someone, you be sure, you be excited. You make them feel that way as well, because they're going to pick up on your vibe no matter what it is.
Yes, I love that. Yes. And give all the snaps. But okay, so on kind of the opposite, I know that a couple of our like newer team members have really struggled with like facing no's, but more importantly facing people that have been nasty. And so I know this also has to do with a lot of mindset and like you kind of already preparing to like hear rude comments. How do you not let those like get to you? Like how do you just like release the rude feedback?
With me being in for 4 years, it literally does not bother me at all. But what I will say is when I first joined, like I had that fear too. I'm from a small town. Like I said, I didn't come from anything. And I thought if I messaged people, they would almost make fun of me, if that makes sense. And so I was so terrified of no's. And y'all, like I had been in not even a month when a girl posted on one of my hair, skin, nails pictures, one of my friends, quote unquote friends. And she was like, that picture looks different. That's not the same person. Like, you're just really rude. And I messaged her and I was like, girl, like, this is my business. Like, I deleted that comment. Please don't do that again. She was like, oh, are you not sure of yourself? Like, it was just so much negativity. And I was just like, because I'd only been in for 2 months, like, I just let her reel me in. And it just put a lot of doubt in my head and it just messed with me. But finally I was like, you know what? Oh, and then she said, you probably won't even be in this business a month from now. And I remember thinking, I'm going diamond. I'm going to go diamond. She's one of the reasons I went diamond, I promise. But what you will hear from me and tons of other top leaders, guys, these people do not pay your bills. And if I would have I want y'all to think if someone had said something nasty to me and I had quit, like, where would I be right now? Like, I want y'all to think about what if I had quit when someone was nasty to me? Because yes, I've had nasty comments. Yes, I've had 100 no's, but I want y'all to think about my story, all the things that I have been able to prevail in because of this business. Now think if I would have quit a year in. Think if I would have quit before I lost my boys. Think if I would have quit before I got that phone call. Guess what? I wouldn't be home with her every day because I wouldn't be retired. Number two, I wouldn't have had the money to go get that stuff. Like all these things I've been able to do, I would have never done. So every time you get a no, I want you to think about your future with this business. And I want you to think about every goal and every dream you have right now, but I want you to think about it as if it's already happened. Now, if you quit, when someone says no, that dream is never going to happen. It's just going to, and that's really, in all reality, that is what is happening. So these people don't pay your bills, you guys. These people have no say-so in your life. Like, do not let some negative Nancy come in here and take a beautiful opportunity from you and so many dreams for you, for your family, and not just that, you guys, your future team. Because guess what? The girls that are on my team, y'all, I literally would not trade for $1 million. These people who have lifted me up, these people who have changed my life, not only that, I've changed their lives. Like, I'm going to be real. I have changed their lives. You know, I brought mamas home. I have been able to help pay for divorces, not me, but you know what I mean, this business, because they said yes to me. And I think about, what if I had quit? Where would they be? So you have to realize there's a small picture and there's a way bigger picture. And do not let Karen or Tiffany or whoever on Facebook tell you no and let you quit this business or let you doubt it. Like this opportunity, Barb, oh my God, I'm dead. Do not let Barb tell you any different. Like, what's his name? He stood up to his mama. You can stand up to these people on Facebook on a screen. Get over yourself. And like I said, I've been in 4 years now, and I can tell you it doesn't bother me because I'm so confident in this business. And why am I confident? Because I've seen it change my life. I have seen it change hundreds of people's lives, and not only other people's lives, but my team. And so when Barb comes in and is like, that's a pyramid scheme, you're annoying me, I'm like, okay, guess what? I was maxed out at 5,000. This is an easy way for me to delete people. So when I get those no's, I'm like, good, I can delete people really quick because it's hard for me to let people go on Facebook. But when I get someone negative, I'm just like, hey, that's a quick delete, and I move on. So.
I love that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Freaking Barb. We all know Barb. So I just, yeah, all of that. Ditto. So with your team that you have changed their lives and they've changed your lives, how do you find, like, what has worked best for you just throughout the years of adding and growing your network? Because like you said earlier, when you went diamond, like people were coming out of the woodwork, like out of nowhere. Like, what have you found is the best way to just add people and just know people and like be really truly invested in like just knowing people versus like, oh, I need to sign DTs, like truly caring and finding the quality followers that you want?
I don't know about finding quality. I feel like adding to your network should be the easiest part of your business. Literally, it's just like my number one thing to do because it's like so easy. So I will go to, say Zoe was not in the business. I would not go to her profile right now because she is in the business. So that'd be like taking her potentials. But say Zoe and I are friends on Facebook. She's not in the business and I really like her content. She's positive. I like what she puts out. So guess what? 9 times out of 10, her friends on her Facebook is going to be similar to who she is. And so I would go to her page and I would start adding her friends. Well, guess what? One of her friends accepted me. I'm her friend for a little bit. Guess what? I'll go to her friends list and I'll add. But that's kind of how I pick and choose. I'm really not that picky. On Instagram, I'm really not picky. I'm like, whoopie doop boop boop. On Facebook, I am just a tad bit. Like I said, I just want to see someone who's not sharing 100 game posts. You know what I mean? Or sitting there talking about Trump or Obama. Like, I'm not into all that because I don't care. Like, I don't care about your opinion on that. You know what I mean? And so I just try to find someone who's super positive, who has good content, like pictures of their family, of their dogs. It's not just add, because honestly, if they're going to join my business, that's how they're going to post versus Zoe, who posts pictures of her and her hubby or fiance or dog or whatever. Guess what? She's going to incorporate this business into her life just like she already posts. And so that's definitely what I do. I'm not picky. I max out all the time, and then I do have to go unfriend people on Instagram. I haven't gotten maxed out yet, so that's still there. I don't know what the rest of your question was. Oh, okay. So quality. One thing I have found when getting quality potential distributors, though, is just me being real and vulnerable. It's not really me picking who I'm adding. It's what I'm putting out. Does that make sense? Because what I put out, other people are going to be attracted to it. And so I am so vulnerable with my story, you guys. Like, I still to this day will share a picture of my sons. And for some people, that might not be their thing to see, babies that have passed. But for me, that's my story. And I get to talk about how they changed my life and how I love them and how I miss them. And I'm just real and vulnerable. Guess what? Guess who is attracted to me? I have so many moms who have lost, miscarried, stillborns, things like that. Those people are attracted to me because that's a part of my life and my story that I'm sharing a lot of. I share a lot of IVF stuff. Like, guess what? Those people are attracted to me. Why? Because they're seeing that we have something in common. And so although my story is completely different than yours, Brooke has a baby laying on her. So like, she could talk about how she loves being a mama and she gets to be home during this quarantine and all the snuggles and she's not worrying about a babysitter. Guess what? Guess who's going to be attracted to her? So it's just being real and it's just being vulnerable and putting that out. Like, don't just copy and paste people's statuses, you guys. Like, write your own, be real. If you're brand new, if you're 2 days in and you're sitting here and you're looking at me blame God because you don't have a story yet, guess what you do? When I first joined, I started as a distributor just like you guys. The reason I went to Diamond so fast, well, number one, I worked my ass off, even though I was working a full-time job. But number two, you guys, like, I just shouted my goals and my dreams from the rooftop. I remember when I made my first post about going Diamond. I was nowhere near Diamond. I literally just said Ruby. And I was like, I'm going Diamond. I'm going to earn a $20,000 bonus, you guys. Like, I'm having so much fun with this company. These girls are lifting me up. This bonus is going to pay for my fertility. I cannot believe I get to do this for my phone. Would you be more attracted to that status, or would you be more attracted to, I'm looking for 2 people who want to make $500 a month? Who will you be attracted to? So what you're putting out there really does matter. I'm not saying you have to take an hour to make a post. I'm just saying make a post your post. because those are the people that are going to be attracted to you. And when they join your business, y'all already have that connection. And guess what? They're going to stay longer because of that. Versus me, when I try to be someone else, when I try to be Carrie Young, because God knows I love her, but I'm not Carrie Young. And so maybe when I posted like Carrie Young did, I would attract people who are like Carrie Young, but then they get on my team and they're like, you're not who I thought you were. You know what I mean? And so then they're already set up for disappointment. So be authentically you and put it out there. You're going to feel repetitive. You're going to feel so repetitive. And that's okay, because I want you to think about any product in your life. And I always talk about the Lange curlers. I know what that is. I see it on Facebook all the time. The first time I saw that, I was like, that's so stupid. Like, why would someone buy a curling iron off of Facebook, Lange or whatever it's called? And then I saw it again the next day and I was watching some girl call. I was like, that looks nice. And then the third or the fourth time I was like looking at price and I was like, I wonder if I could buy that. My husband not really care because it was like almost $200 for the whole thing that I wanted. And then like the seventh time that I saw it, I was like, doing it, And like initially I was like, that's stupid. Do you see how it shifted just from me seeing it so many times? So when you're making your statuses and you're making your posts, stop worrying about, I'm repetitive. I sound like something that repeats itself. I don't know. And just be like sharing, just share, because you are going to have those people who are like, network marketing is dumb. But after they've seen you post 10 times about how you're making these weekly bonuses while your butt's at home and they're, laid off from their job, what are they going to do? They're going to see you posting about you getting bonuses. They're going to be like, maybe that network marketing isn't so dumb. And I will tell you, there are so many top leaders in this business who said network marketing was dumb before they joined. Ashley Mayfield, she talks about it all the time. She was like, network marketing. She's a freaking ambassador. Okay, so those no's that we talked about earlier, you take those no's, because those no's will eventually turn to yeses. And I can guarantee you, I've been in 4 years and probably, I like percentages apparently. I feel like I've been talking about percentages a lot. Like 50% of people who've told me no have come back and been yeses. Whether that's products, whether that's being a DT. I had a girl that went diamond literally in 3 months who told me no month after month after month, and then randomly reached out to me and signed up, went diamond on her own within 3 months. So don't even take no personal. Take that as a seed planted, and you're going to water it until it comes back to you.
Mic drop. Like that was, I think, the best. Yes. OMG. I needed this, y'all. I don't know how y'all are feeling. I know Brooke is like blowing up the chat, but like I needed this because it's so good. And like everything you say, I'm like, yeah, literally. But okay, so I don't honestly have like any other questions. Like I feel like you've covered already so much. I guess just like going into the last 6 days of the month, do you have just any last encouragement of just like really pushing, really believing, like having the faith to move mountains and actually putting in the work to be blessed? Just anything else that you would like to bless us with? I feel like everybody is like already like, OMG, your chat is blowing up.
So one thing I will leave you with, guys, is whenever I was going triple diamond, I didn't even know what I was, like 20,000 away within like 7 days. And I was like, there's no way this is going to happen. But I was like, I preach that I'm going triple diamond so much. Like, I can't just be like, sorry, team, we're cutting it. Like, it's too far. And so I was just like, I'm just going to go with the flow. And like, it's obviously not going to happen, but I'm just going to keep working. And we're just going to keep doing all these crazy power hours. Well, guess what, guys? We got to the last day and it was like 5,000 volume. And for triple, like, that's really nothing because your team is pretty large, so 5,000 comes in pretty quickly. And I was just like, what the frick is going on? Like, what the frick? And then I went triple and I was just like, did that like really happen? Like, did it really say triple? Like, but the reason I say this was because I could have looked at that big volume within that amount of days and be like, that's never going to happen. And I could have gave up, but I didn't. But I'm going to be real. The only reason I didn't is because I wanted to lead from the front and I didn't want my team to give up on their promotions. But because I was so consistent, I was so disciplined, and I kept with the pace, actually even harder than the pace. Because like I said, I was looking up every 2 hours, you guys, it happened. So I don't know what everyone's going for, but like if you even have your chart out, like don't think that that promotion can't happen. Every promotion I've ever hit, diamond, double, triple, those big ones, like I've always been like, there's no way this is going to happen within the last couple of days. Like, and I can tell you almost every single person who has promoted has felt like that. But the reason they promoted was because they were like, like that might be hard, but I'm just going to give it my all, because what is the worst thing that's going to happen if you give it your all? What is the worst thing? You're going to freaking build your paycheck. Number one, you're going to build your team's paycheck. Number two, number three, if it doesn't happen, you're that much closer next month. Number four, you could enroll a random DT randomly that changes your business. Guys, we only need 3 people to get to the top of this company. 3. So just keep working your freaking business like it's going to happen. Yes, put in sacrifices, especially if you're going diamond and above, you guys. Like, it's not going to fall in your lap. Every promotion I ever had, I've lost sleep. I've had a couple of tears. I've had days of no showers. I mean, looking a hot mess. And those sacrifices were definitely worth it. And there were times where I didn't want to do it. Like, I can promise you there were times I didn't want to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock. Like, but I do it anyways. And that is what's going to set you apart. It's just you being consistent and you being disciplined. The people that are an ambassador, it's just because they were consistent. They were disciplined. They didn't give up. You know, when it went up, when it went down. Guys, my volumes are down right now. Like, it's okay. It's okay with me because I've been in the business for years and I know how it goes. And I know that it's going to come out the other side even higher. It has every time. It's business. So maybe you're a diamond, maybe you're a ruby, and you're not holding your rank. Know that that's okay and that's completely normal. But the only thing you can do to change that is be super consistent. And guess what? Boom, you're going to enroll a DT that changes everything. That's what I'm always looking for, is that next DT. I don't know about y'all. I preach on that a lot. Finding my next person to help that is passionate about this. Because, guys, when I was diamond, I didn't talk about this. When I was diamond, no one worked under me. I loved my girls, but they weren't working. They would maybe get 1 or 2 customers a month. That didn't get me to diamond. I got to diamond. I will put it on the Bible by my damn self. I worked my ass off to go diamond. And when I started finding my people, it just shifted the whole game. And guess what? It took me almost a year to find some people. So are you willing to put in a year to get, you know, $2,000 to $5,000 a month and then turn around within, 3 years, be a triple diamond? If I'm looking at you right now and I'm saying, be consistent, be disciplined, and you'll be a triple diamond. Like, guys, this business is so easy. My 12-year-old knows how to do it. My 12-year-old knows how to do charts. My 12-year-old knows about Zooms. My 12-year-old knows how to enroll a customer. If he can do it, you guys can do it. I promise. It's just sticking in, when it gets hard, it's being disciplined, it's being consistent. I always think about Carrie Young, and I know, like, her story was not straight up. It was up, it was down. She was a diamond who lost under Ruby. And, like, just want you guys to know that's okay if that is you. You just have to keep pushing, and it will change. So just keep going, guys. Have the belief. That's all I got for you guys.
I love you. I love everything.
I love you guys.
Thank you so much. Seriously, just for, like, speaking. I literally, like, we were like, okay, I want a guest speaker this week. And I was like, Katie Duke is gonna change our lives. Like, every time that you speak, like, you just speak so much life and love and just passion and faith into my heart and my brain. And I knew, like, what better way to end the month. And I just, like, I feel renewed and, like, ready and so much just, like, passion. And so thank you so much for spending time with us this evening.
You're welcome. I had so much fun.
Yes. Y'all, if you do not follow her, please go follow her. Don't try to add her on Facebook because Homegirl Max is out. But
All right, just click follow, click see first.
You'll probably want to click follow, see first, because, like, you want her content on your feed, believe me. And your Instagram is Life with Dukes.
Yes, Life with the Dukes.
The Dukes.
And I do Facebook more than I do Instagram. So
yes. But thank you so much. We love you, and I just am so thankful for you. And y'all, I'm so ready for just, like, we're gonna still crush this month because we got 6 more days. And just to reiterate, our company went debt-free the last time the economy had a recession and the government.
There's people literally promoting to diamond right now. I just posted about a girl. She promoted a diamond in, like, 36 days. There are people busting out Ruby executive. Like, it can still happen.
Do not count yourself out. Like, we have this. And so I'm so excited. But thank you again. We love you. And I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Brooke, yes, you can stop the recording.